Whether you operate one forklift or thousands, one location or hundreds, the new My Toyota customer portal can help you optimize your operation and material handling equipment. This one-stop, free-to-use platform is designed to help you take control of your information and make smarter decisions, all at the touch of a button. Register and access your data today at my.toyotaforklift.com. That's my.toyotaforklift.com.
Starting March 9th, your supply chain possibilities are endless. At MODEX 2020, you'll find 950 plus exhibits and 150 plus education sessions tailored to help you discover equipment and system solutions for your material handling and supply chain needs. With keynotes, networking, education, and product booths, MODEX is where manufacturing and supply chain innovation comes to life. Visit MODEXshow.com today and join us March 9th to March 12th, 2020 at Georgia World Congress Center in Atlanta. Register today at MODEXshow.com.
The New Warehouse Podcast, hosted by Kevin Lawton, is your source for insights and ideas from the distribution, transportation, and logistics industry. A new episode every Monday morning brings you the latest from industry experts and thought leaders. And now, here's Kevin.
Hi, and welcome to the New Warehouse Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Lawton, and we have a two-parter, right? So this is part 2 of what to expect at MODEX 2020. We have MODEX coming up in just 2 short weeks. Actually, I guess at this point it's Wednesday, so it's a week and a half. So March 9th through 12th, we are going to be at MODEX, and just a reminder that the New Warehouse will have a booth there, booth 4194. We will be doing podcast interviews right there on the floor. And we have a lot of people signed up to do interviews. We have just a handful, maybe not even a handful actually, of open spots for people that want to still participate and come by and do an interview. Of course, if you want to do an interview as well, there's always time after MODEX as well. We got an entire year in front of us, so we can definitely set something up there as well. And as I mentioned, we're going to be moving sort of to this 2-episode a week schedule as well. There's just so many things out there to cover. So I want to bring you guys some more content and possibly some different show types as well. So that's all I'll say about that right now. But we will get into that later, definitely after MODEX. So this week, this week for the second time on Wednesday. So part 2, we are going to talk to Zebra Technologies. We're also going to talk to SICK and Rite-Hite and a company called PINC as well. If there's anything I think that I'm seeing is an overall trend in talking to these. So we had 4 companies in part 1 and we have 4 companies in part 2. So 8 different companies, and just kind of looking out there as well. If anything that I'm seeing is a trend is definitely visualization. So visualization in different kinds of aspects, but all these companies are definitely coming up with these solutions to make all different aspects of your operation totally visible to you in multiple different ways and using different types of solutions and technologies. But I really see that is kind of the trend here. So this first clip actually is Zebra Technologies, and you guys may remember a couple episodes back, talked to Kurt Crowley when I actually visited Zebra Technologies up in Long Island, New York. He talked to us about design and innovation on that episode, and this clip is Amanda Honig, who is part of their marketing team for the supply chain arm, and she gives us a little taste of what to expect from Zebra at MODEX. So take a listen. I am on site at Zebra Technologies in New York at their New York location. We're getting some demos today. I'm catching up with Amanda Honig, who is a marketing representative of their supply chain arm. And Amanda's going to give us a little taste of what to expect at MODEX this year, March 9th through 12th in Atlanta. So Amanda, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here on site, actually. We've had, Zebra on the show a couple times talking about a lot of different technologies, and you guys are everywhere that I go now that I notice. And I
think my last example was Walmart. Somebody mobile checked me out. I didn't even know they were doing mobile checkout, and I looked and they were using a Zebra device, and they checked me out right there.
Yeah, sometimes Zebra feels like the world's best kept secret, but you'll start to see us everywhere from your delivery carriers, when you're in getting health care at a hospital, and even at retail stores. So I'm not surprised that you've seen us around now.
Definitely making everybody's life a little easier too.
Exactly, it's our goal.
Right. So you guys are going to be at MODEX. You're going to have a pretty big presence, I assume, judging based on ProMat last year. So why don't you give us a little idea of what we can expect to see from Zebra at MODEX?
Yes, definitely, and we're very excited to be exhibiting some of our latest solutions for the supply chain. We're really going to be addressing supply chain challenges when it comes to end-to-end visibility. So we have extensive software solutions around managing visibility across the warehouse and supply chain, even out in the yard, and some unique solutions for trailer operations.
Okay.
We'll also have our next generation fulfillment solution. So this is going to consist of our heads-up display, the HD4000.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's in conjunction with our Fulfillment Edge software. So it's really enhancing the pickers' performance, like optimizing their workflow.
Okay.
But what's really unique is our collaboration with Fetch Robotics and how cobots can really improve the efficiency and eliminate kind of some of the wasted steps and motion that a worker typically does when they're picking. So we're excited to show that collaboration of hardware for the worker and then the collaboration with robotics.
Okay, great. Yeah, we had talked to Fetch at ProMat last year a little bit, so really interesting to see how you guys are collaborating together and see how that comes together. So I would definitely recommend stopping by Zebra's booth at MODEX. And what booth number are you guys going to be?
We're booth 3607.
3607, that's the booth to go to. So that'll be March 9th through 12th at MODEX in Atlanta. And booth, what is it?
3607.
3607. Thank you very much, Amanda.
All right, so definitely really excited to see Zebra's booth. Zebra covers so many different aspects of the operation. Well, not just the operation, I mean the supply chain in general, as Amanda said. I mean, you know, everywhere I go, I use the Walmart example in that clip, but everywhere I go, I mean, I see Zebra. I go, you know, take my son to the doctor and the hospital, and, you know, the printers are Zebra that print out the wristbands now. They're just everywhere. So the technologies that they're developing and the way they're going about them, from the visit and, you know, from the episode and discussion I had with Kurt previously, you know, they really are going at things to make our lives a lot easier. And it's really pretty impressive to see all the different things they do. So I did get a good preview, actually, of the HD4000 when I was up there. So if you have a chance to stop by the booth, definitely do it. Check it out, because I think that kind of thing is the future. And Zebra is bringing it here now, so it's really cool to see. And the heads-up display is really, really impressive. And then also she mentioned the yard management system, and seeing that there with this touchscreen, and you got to see it to believe it. There will actually be a little preview video that I worked on with them, which will be releasing by the end of this week. And so you'll definitely be able to check that out, get a little taste, but definitely go to MODEX and check out their booth. So next clip up, we have SICK, and you might know SICK because of the sensors, but they have a lot of technology that's going on. And I talk about it in the clip, but I was really impressed with their booth at ProMat last year. So really interested to see what they're going to have this year at MODEX. But here is a little clip of what they're actually going to be showing. I am going to be joined right now by John Ashodian. He is the marketing manager for logistics automation at SICK. SICK is the sensor company. That's probably how you know them. That's how I know them the best, actually, in my warehouse experience, seeing SICK sensors everywhere. So he's going to talk to us about what they're going to have going on at MODEX in March 9th through 12th of this year in Atlanta. And, I think it's going to be really interesting for SICK. I know they're going to have some Industry 4.0 demos there, and their booth at ProMat last year was really, really cool. If you guys have been listening to the show since then, you may remember that we had a guest from SICK on as well to talk about what they had going on there. So really, really incredible stuff, and definitely a view at the future and I guess also the now of the industry as well. So without further ado, John, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm good. So good. Why don't you give us a little bit, for those that maybe are not familiar with SICK, why don't you give us just a little overview of what SICK actually is?
Sure. A quick rundown. I always like to start out, of course, by explaining the SICK name, right? Mm-hmm. We get a lot of questions about what is SICK. SICK was our founder's name, Dr. Erwin SICK, from the company decades ago in his garage in Germany, and it's led into a large sensor company, as you mentioned. Right. And right now, SICK is one of the leading manufacturers of sensors, industrial-based sensors, safety systems, machine vision, and a variety of other products for applications within logistics and manufacturing and all kinds of material handling segments.
Okay, great. Yeah, and you mentioned the machine learning there, and that was something that I think was my favorite part of the booth last year. But I'll let you explain that a little more. So why don't you tell us a little bit, I guess, about what you guys are going to have going on and what's really going to be the highlights of your booth at MODEX?
Sure. No, I appreciate the time to be able to tell you what we're doing. We're excited about MODEX 2020. It's kind of a carry over from ProMat last year. A lot of exciting things happening in the industry. What we're trying to do is bring smart logistics to life. And what we'll be highlighting at our booth is just different solutions for track and trace, which are some of our traditional conveyor flow solutions and auto ID. But this year, what we're bringing is a little more emphasis placed on Industry 4.0 and really making that real. What does it mean for the industry, and how do our solutions fit that? And then finally, we've got an area dedicated to mobile robots because certainly there's a huge surge in terms of deployment of AMRs and AGVs and AGCs and every category of autonomous vehicles. So we've got a big section dedicated to that.
Definitely, and that's something you guys didn't have at ProMat, right? Was the robot?
Maybe to a lesser degree. We've always highlighted some of our solutions around AGVs and automated, fork trucks and forklifts and things like that. But this is a little bit expanded based on some new capabilities we have around LiDAR and some other technologies that are, really improving, our position in terms of being able to offer solutions for navigation and for collision avoidance.
Cool. Yeah, and I would say what I thought was awesome about your booth at ProMat. For those that are kind of thinking about, checking you guys out at MODEX and that are going to be there. One thing I thought, the way you visualize these different, trends of Industry 4.0 and how these things work, I think it was really made it kind of easy to understand a little more for those that are not so familiar with it. So I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah, it's one of the areas, in terms of, educating the marketplace in terms of, understanding what's the real value. We've heard the term thrown around quite a bit, and it means maybe different things to different places in the industry. But our role in all of this, really, as a sensor company, is we're at the edge, detecting, sensing, measuring, and we're gathering all the data that's really fed into those systems that really make Industry 4.0 and IoT a reality. And so we look at our role as being able to demonstrate, one, what the capabilities of our products are, obviously, but how does that translate into, a real benefit to our customers? What does it mean to be connected, and what does it mean to have that transparency? And so this year at MODEX, we want to be able to demonstrate that, to a higher level with the solutions that we have, the software that we use, the services that we offer, and really kind of soup to nuts. What can SICK bring to complete that picture?
Definitely. Awesome. So what about outside the booth? What is SICK, or what are you personally most excited to see at MODEX?
We'll be back after a quick break.
You hear a lot about supply chains these days, because if the past couple years have taught us anything, it's that an efficient, well-managed supply chain is absolutely critical to keeping businesses successful and consumers happy. I'm Will Haywood, and I host a podcast called All Business, No Boundaries, where we talk about supply chains, how they work, what happens when they don't, and the innovations that are redefining what's possible in the world of logistics. Join me for insightful interviews with thought leaders and industry experts. We discuss how optimizing supply chains can break down the barriers that are holding businesses back. That's All Business, No Boundaries by DHL Supply Chain. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, a lot of the things that we're engaged in anyway. I'm really interested to see, what's going on with artificial intelligence and, deep learning and all of those areas where data and information is being used, from edge to cloud. What are the big trends there? We see certain trends, and I go, as representative of the marketing arm at SICK to go and see, what are the trends? What are the latest things? That our users, our integrators, our OEM partners are looking for. And I just sense that in Atlanta coming up here in March, we're going to see quite a few new breakthrough things. I think we're really in a transition period right now within the material handling industry for a lot of great new things to be happening.
Definitely. I think there's so much happening and so much happening rapidly that it's pretty remarkable when you think about, I guess, where we were, just a few years ago. The technology didn't seem to be moving as fast in the industry, I don't think. So it's really, really cool to see.
It's moving fast now for sure. Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah. So, all right. So great to hear from you on SICK. And, I think your booth is definitely going to be awesome, it sounds like. So I'm excited to see it, and I hope people will check it out. So now, where can people actually find you? What booth will you guys be in?
We're in booth 5002. We're actually right up in the front near the main entrance there. If you look to the left when you walk in, you can't miss us. Love to have everyone stop by and then let us show you a little bit more about how SICK is bringing smart logistics to life at MODEX.
Okay, great. John, thank you so much. And definitely we will post that information on the newwarehouse.com as well for everybody's reference, but definitely check out SICK's booth at MODEX 2020. I am definitely excited to check out SICK's booth. I think that they are, they're really working to make your warehouse smarter. And I think that going by their booth, when he talks about Industry 4.0 and those concepts, they really, and well, at least at ProMat when I was there, they really were able to, and I mentioned in the clip, they could put it in this sense of you can see how the technology works in a way that I guess your mind can wrap around it. At least that's how I felt. Like, now I kind of like when I went to the booth, I was like, now I kind of understand how machine learning works a little more. So definitely I would recommend to stop by there, just to get a little sense of what's coming in the future and what types of things people are working on, and how are we really going to start making these warehouses even smarter. I know we have all kinds of solutions already, but we're going to have even more. So that just kind of like goes to, I guess, back what I was saying about, visualization and all these things and AI, and he's talking about. So it'd be really interesting to see how their booth turns out, and definitely interested to see the mobile robotics part that they will have as well. So our next clip is from Rite-Hite. Rite-Hite does some dock solutions, but they're also doing some things with visualization as well. So I talked to Tim Kubley, and he is going to give us a little taste of what Rite-Hite is going to have at MODEX this year. Tim is going to talk to us a little bit about what Rite-Hite does, and then tell us what to expect at MODEX from Rite-Hite's booth. So Tim, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Matt.
Yeah, happy to have you on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Rite-Hite and what it is that Rite-Hite does?
Sure. So Rite-Hite is a world leader in the manufacturing, sale, and service of loading dock equipment, industrial doors, safety barriers, HVLS fans, industrial curtain walls, and more, and really designed to help improve the safety, security, and productivity and energy savings and environmental control with our customers.
Okay, great. And you guys definitely have a wide range of solutions, and there's going to be some newer products and solutions that you guys are showing at MODEX as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see at your booth?
Sure. We're very excited. We launched in October of last year, and the first is a platform called OptiView, OPTIVU, And what OptiView is, it's our industrial Internet of Things platform that allows us to connect equipment, Rite-Hite equipment, to our customers and being able to provide them analytics so they can make data-driven decisions.
Okay.
In addition to our OptiView platform, we also launched in October of last year our DocView software. And our DocView software is a paperless loading dock and trailer management software solution that helps bring clarity and order to the entire logistics operations.
Okay.
And really has an opportunity to impact the four major stakeholders that are involved in that process, being the shipping receiving office and warehouse employees, the carriers themselves or trailer drivers, as well as if they have a yard personnel or a yard management team to help with that process.
Got it. So kind of all about giving more visibility to all the different stakeholders in the operation.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what else are you, or what is Rite-Hite excited about for MODEX outside of your booth, of course?
Well, one thing we're excited about is we are holding a customer event on Monday evening.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing that over at the Mercedes-Benz football stadium.
Ooh, nice.
But I always enjoy these opportunities because it gives me the chance to engage with many partners that we've had, not only from a customer aspect, but vendors that we engage with as well, and really get to see some of the new technologies that are out there and what customers are seeing as well.
Definitely. I think it's a great chance to go somewhere and kind of learn about, even as like an attendee from the operations side, learn about what's actually happening in the industry and what kind of solutions are out there now.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, all right. So why don't you tell us where your booth is going to be and how can people find you at MODEX?
Sure. So we are going to be at booth 5675 and going to be being able to show the customers that are able to attend the OptiView portion of our equipment, of being able to connect and make equipment smart, or OptiView-enabled equipment.
Okay.
We're going to have equipment there as well that has the opportunity to be OptiView-enabled.
Right.
And then we'll also be able to talk about the new software for the dock and trailer management portion as well.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, and can't wait to see your guys' booth. So, Tim, thank you so much for coming on the New Warehouse Podcast. All right, and Rite-Hite, so focusing again on visualization in the warehouse, right? So they're connecting all their products to the Internet of Things and giving that extra visibility to really help us kind of, I guess, push to the next level and be able to optimize even more by collecting more data and having more visibility to things that maybe were not so visible before, or at least able to be visible all the time. So really interested to see their new solutions that he said they just rolled out in October, and also excited to be attending their event that he mentioned too. We'll be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I'll actually be there. So if you guys are going to attend that, definitely reach out to me, Kevin@thenewwarehouse.com, and we can connect there. So that would be great. Definitely that's one thing for MODEX too, is interested in meeting a lot of people there as well. So even if you're going to be an attendee and you want to stop by and chat on the podcast, then definitely open to that. We'll be looking to pull some people off the floor and see how people are feeling and what the kind of pulse of the industry is too as well. So now we're going to play the last clip in our What to Expect at MODEX 2020 series, the two-part series. And this last clip is from a company called PINC. And PINC, as you will hear, does a lot of different things. But they focus on yard management, and they also have a inventory management drone set up as well. And actually, well, I won't ruin the clip or spoil the clip, but they're going to have a pretty cool display, I think, at MODEX as well. So take a listen to what Rafael from PINC has to say. And now I'm joined by Rafael Granado, who is the VP of Marketing at PINC. Rafael is going to give us some insight into what is PINC, what does their company do, and then tell us a little bit about what they're going to be showing off at MODEX. So, Rafael, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Kevin. We're very excited to be here.
Definitely. Happy to have you on the show, and happy to talk to you, get a little preview before we head over to MODEX, and then we'll talk to you a little further there as well. So why don't you give the audience an idea of what PINC does, and what is PINC actually all about?
So PINC is a technology company based in the outskirts of Silicon Valley in California.
Okay.
And for the past 16 years, we have been helping the largest brands in the world to identify, locate, map, and orchestrate inventory predictably and cost-effectively throughout the supply chain.
Okay.
But before I move forward and talk a little bit more about how we do that, I think it's important for your listeners to understand why we do that.
Sure, yeah.
So if you take a look at the supply chain as a whole and you investigate how the logistics executives are spending their money today, you will find out that 66% of the logistics budgets are spent with transportation, okay?
Definitely.
There's a huge focus in optimizing the transportation and transportation challenges. However, if you break down where inventory is throughout the supply chain, you will find out that 90% of the time, inventory is actually stationary in the supply chain. It's sitting in shelves in warehouses instead of trailers parked in the distribution center or manufacturing plant yards at a retail store. So companies are spending 66% of their budgets or 2/3 of their budgets only to optimize 10% of their inventory, right? And it doesn't matter which industry you're in. If you're in e-commerce, manufacturing, retail, 3PL, the scenario is pretty much the same. And we have been, as I said, in this industry for quite some time. We had the opportunity to speak with several industry leaders and executives, and they all tell us the same story. And what's going on is that in the past, I would say 2-3 years, we've seen a shift, right? Primarily because we see a new customer out there requiring products to be delivered to their doorsteps next day or sometimes during the same day. Right. We've seen a shortage in labor. We've seen also the national warehouse vacancy rate hovering at record lows. I think it's about 4% vacancy today. We see companies getting congested with inventory brought in from China because of the tariffs. And we think also a driver shortage, right? That's an ongoing topic that companies been talking about. So inventory management has been getting more complex over the years, right? Even though companies are trying to get more accuracy on their inventory levels and also gain velocity so they can move inventory as efficiently and cost effectively as possible. So for that, what we do is we help companies identify, as I mentioned before, identify, locate, and orchestrate inventory in 2 different areas, right? The first one is in the yard, so where you have several trailers parked and you have to load or unload those trailers as efficiently as possible. You have to have a good relationship with the carriers, the transportation companies. You need to be as transparent as possible so you can you can be a shipper of choice and etc.
Right.
And inside of the warehouse, where you have thousands and thousands of pallets sitting on shelves, then you need to know how much you have from a particular SKU or where that particular pallet is, so you can ship the right products to the right customer as effectively as possible, right?
Definitely.
So PINC has, since 2004, we have been helping companies deliver products with our yard management solution. Today, PINC proudly is the #1 enterprise yard management solution, helping the largest brands in the world. As I mentioned, we have hundreds of locations deployed We use a number of different technologies to enable these companies to gain velocity in moving trailers in and out of facilities,
Right.
including passive RFID, GPS, computer vision, autonomous drones, and everything is delivered through the cloud, and it provides a number of automation capabilities on top of these auto data collection tools that we offer. We have a cloud application that offers a lot of automation capabilities that enable these organizations to be as efficiently as possible. And most recently, we identified a similar problem, which was identify static objects. However, instead of being in 2 dimensions like trailers, they were in 3 dimensions, right?
Okay.
So we developed an autonomous drone platform that navigates inside of warehouses autonomously. We developed our own proprietary navigation platform that works in GPS-denied environment. Uses computer vision to identify license plates or labels.
Okay.
And we have a bunch of different AI capabilities running in the back side of the cloud application, processing all this data, collecting the data from the WMS, and presenting a reconciliation report, right?
Okay.
So it's the type of capability that has been unseen in the supply chain logistics space.
Wow. Okay. So you guys definitely kind of cover a lot of ground in a lot of different technologies. So we'll definitely be digging into that a little more as we speak at MODEX on that episode too. So why don't you tell us, I mean, out of all those things, what are you guys going to be highlighting at the booth? What are you guys going to be showing off at MODEX?
That's a really good question. So we have prepared some surprises.
Surprises. Okay.
Yes. So we are going to be demonstrating our most recently releases for the yard management solution with all these automation embedded into the solution. So we're going to be doing live demos of our what we call the digital yard management solution. And for our inventory robotics solution, we will actually have a live demo where the MODEX attendees will be able to experience a live scan, a warehouse environment. So we're going to have a drone cage. We're going to have the drone flying autonomously and scanning warehouse racks. And we're going to be demonstrating all the capabilities and discussing the technology involved with that particular solution.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I'm excited to see that. So a drone cage, that's pretty cool. So you keep your drones inside the cage. I like that. And definitely interested to see how that works. I mean, I've definitely heard about it and seen videos. I haven't seen it in person actually. So I'd be really excited to see that at your booth. Now, what about outside of your booth? What are you excited about, and what is your company excited about from MODEX in general? What are you guys interested in seeing what's going on in the industry?
Yeah, so there's a movement. We identified this movement across some companies, and we are calling that movement the bionic supply chain, right?
Bionic.
Companies are trying to overcome some of the obstacles that I just mentioned previously in this podcast, and I'm excited to see anything associated to robotics, automation, autonomous, machine learning, artificial intelligence, that enables companies to move labor force, workforce from repetitive, time-consuming activities to a more automated solution and a more efficient supply chain. So anything associated to the bionic supply chain, as we call, I'm excited to see.
Okay, great. Yeah. I think that one thing that's really interesting now is that maybe just a few short years ago, I think talking about AI and machine learning and all this autonomous things going on was like this total whoa. That's like so in the future. But now it's like, all right, there's all these real world applications where people are actually utilizing this stuff, and it can actually be like applied to your operation realistically now and actually have some great benefits. So So definitely going to be very cool to see all those things going on, as you said, in the bionic supply chain. I like that term, actually, at MODEX this year. So now tell us where we can find PINC on the MODEX floor. What booth will you guys be at?
So we are at booth 8281, located really close to the main aisle, close to the theaters where all the sessions are going to be held. So you'll probably see us over there.
Okay, great. So Raphael, thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us and give us a little sneak peek and preview. And I'll be looking forward to those surprises you mentioned at the PINC booth in MODEX. Definitely a really interesting conversation there with Raphael. And of course, I'm very excited to see that drone cage. I have, obviously talked to, we had someone on the show before to talk about, using drones in the warehouse for inventory management. And I've seen videos, obviously, but I actually have not seen drone used for inventory management in person yet. So definitely excited that they're actually going to have a live demo of that. So going to be a really interesting booth there, I think, and there's going to be a lot of exciting things at MODEX 2020. So if you are thinking about attending, I would say make up your mind and do attend. And remember, as an attendee, it's actually free, which I think is huge for MODEX to do, MHI to do with MODEX, and also ProMat is free to attend as well. So that's a big deal. I mean, when you think about all the other conferences and things that are out there, they can get pretty pricey. And, it's not just the exhibits that are there. There's a bunch of educational sessions as well. So really good deal to go. And, like Raphael just was talking about, is this bionic supply chain idea. There's so many different things that you can be able to see at MODEX that I think is probably the most exciting part for me, is just being able to see all these things, because as we work in this industry and we work in certain types of businesses, you don't always get the chance to work with all these new technologies. And maybe you work for a smaller company, the resources aren't there, or the company has different philosophy on technology, or they're just not ready. You don't necessarily get to be exposed to all these things. So at a place like MODEX, you really get that exposure to what's going on. And, it just helps you, I think, professionally to develop, to keep up to date on what's going on and seeing what's coming in the future as well, to kind of prepare you and then think about things in a little different way. So MODEX coming up March 9th through 12th. That's just a week and a half away. And remember that the new warehouse will be there interviewing live from the floor, booth 4194. So definitely stop by, say hello. If you want to schedule some time, email me, kevin@thenewwarehouse.com. We are very tight on time. I will say we have probably just a couple slots left. But also, if you ever want to be on the show as well, email kevin@thenewwarehouse.com, and we can definitely figure something out there too. So that's it for what to expect at MODEX Part 2. And we will have more information about those companies as well at thenewwarehouse.com. And then stay tuned to thenewwarehouse.com as well on our social media channels throughout the week. We will have a special video releasing as well. So definitely interested to share that with you. And that is all for this week. Thanks for listening. And if you haven't subscribed or rated us yet on whatever app you use, please do that so you can follow along and stay up to date. So see you at MODEX.
You've been listening to the New Warehouse Podcast with Kevin Lawton. Subscribe and check us out online at thenewwarehouse.com.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want more content from the New Warehouse, check out our new video series called All Hands on LinkedIn. Just search for the New Warehouse on LinkedIn and follow along.